go on in. We're gonna flip now. We're gonna just assume that you guys saw the other games. Georgia knocking out LSU 50-30, and a great season now. Again, first year for Brian Kelly and his staff in the SEC championship game, so they took advantage. Last night, Utah and the Biker Gang knocked out USC 47-24, but there was some other college football news, and this kind of like slow rolled its way, and it was up, but it wasn't announced, and it was assumed, but nothing official came forward. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, accepts the job just right before we go on with you all at the University of Colorado. And I mean, now 2-3 years ago, he's on the NFL Network. Colorado is still out in the wilderness. And today we're saying Coach Deion Sanders is the head coach in Boulder, Colorado. Matt, when I tell you that, what's the first couple things that come to your mind?
I mean, they're getting a great recruiter, a guy that knows how to relate to young dudes. They're getting a great quarterback in his son, Shedeur, who I'm sure is going to transfer to Colorado. And I've been saying this now. I thought Auburn should hire him because I think what Deion could do is transcends the football field. And I've been saying this for I don't know how long. Deion will use his will. He will literally use his will to convince the Pac-12 to everybody's got to play an HBCU school. And then eventually it's going to be all Power Fives have to play HBCU schools. There's 21 of them. So, and they struggle. They struggle financially year after year after year. They struggle financially. And why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't the Power Five schools, if not even give them 1 or 2% of your huge media deals, play them every year, give them those $1 million games, the buy-in games that everybody gets. Why would you not try and help them survive? I think just on sheer will alone, Deion is going to convince them to do that.
First of all, great point by you in the tweet there. If you follow at Matt Hayes CFB, he broke it down earlier. Power Fives could obviously they load the September schedule, Trevor, with whoever they want to play, and these guys go play, Barbecue Tech, and these guys go over here and get, Tiptoe State. You could go play Howard. You could bring in Florida A&M. You could go get like Morgan State, any number. Tennessee State's going to play Notre Dame next year. You could do that if you wanted to. And Mac, that's just like what a forward-thinking, thoughtful look. There's 21 of them, historical, and they produce some of the best football players that the sport's ever seen. You could rotate amongst the 65.
Yeah.
And they could all have a Power Five. They could really all have 2 a year.
They could.
So, but to that point, Trevor, and I know I'm looking at that same thing. Trevor, your thoughts there on that last bit of news, Deion Sanders going to Boulder.
Yeah, I think Matt hit it on the head. The guy is, you talk about a player's coach, and I think he takes it one step further, right? Typically what I would define a player's coach is as a guy that is a great coach, great recruiter, demands a lot out of his players, but can also come down to their level, right? Guys, want to walk into his office, they believe in him, and then so on Saturdays or Sundays or whenever they play, they go out and they give the guy their all. Deion Sanders takes that to a new level because not only, Matt, to your point, does he relate to players really well, but he's also still relevant in his playing days. He's the best. He's arguably, but a lot of would say he's the best to play his position. And so when you've got a guy that can come in and look you in the eye and say, hey, look, listen to what I say, because if you do, you can go and do what I did, right? Yeah. Or hey, listen to my advice. I've been there before and done it at the highest level. I think that transcends everything. And so him stepping on campus in Boulder, they are automatically, to me, a well north of 500 football team. And I think that's in year 1 is my prediction.
Yeah, they're what, 25-3 at Jackson State in his time there. 2 conference titles. Unbeaten season this year. They were terrible before he got there. He's got a staff full of his friends from the NFL circle. They're all former NFL players. They all can recruit. He's going to get players there, Colorado, man. It's going to be, and with the portal, it's going to be a lot quicker than you think.
So a couple quick things, just in listening to both of you that come to mind. One, Boulder is about to be the most fun campus and student section in the Pac-12. Like they're already letting you go up there and roll what you need. You know that. So just imagine, couple that. Here comes Coach Prime. Here, like the vibe of the stadium, which they probably used to play a little Leonard Skinner, and they probably used to have some. I imagine some of those traditions will give way. Some.
Well, Prime doesn't drink, smoke, or cuss. You know that, right?
Well, I'm just saying, but that don't mean the students don't have to.
I know. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you
Right,
it's Prime. That's all.
I'm just simply saying. So, recruiting, I agree. Portal, I agree. If you can get the big kid, I forget his name, the number one player in the country to come to Jackson State when he had Bama and Florida State and everybody else.
Travis
Hunter. You can get some kids to come to Colorado that would have otherwise gone to some other places. But here's what he's going to run up against. Yes, the two biggest brands in the Pac-12 are leaving for the Big Ten, but they still live in Southern California. They're still going to recruit Southern California. Lincoln Riley's first year, they were in, now they're out, but they're still one of the hottest teams west of the Mississippi. Right. UCLA is still UCLA, Oregon, Washington, and the state of Arizona. Like they're all going to have something to say. They're not going to just moonwalk off the dance floor because this dude comes into the conference. That's just not going to happen. That's going to be fascinating. The other thing is we're going to get a chance to see the coaching level. I really felt like he tipped the scales so heavily with the recruiting. And yeah, he was coaching, but we don't get a chance to see Jackson State in a bunch of national primetime games. Now we're going to see what he does with Dan Lanning in Oregon. Now we're going to see what happens when he locks horns with the new Washington staff, and they were taking heads off at the back of the season. Now we're going to chance to see what happens when it's October 1st or October 8th or 10th, and he's played 6 games, and the back of the schedule knows this is what Colorado does best. We have a chance to see it now. So can he do it? Absolutely. But he's got the biggest reclamation project now, and they now have the loudest coaching staff. It's going to be, if nothing else, they're going to be somehow, some way on Sports Center somehow.
Yeah.
Now, could they be 6-1? Maybe 1-6, probably not. But it's going to be somewhere in between. But if Sonny Dykes can go to TCU and they're in this thing in year 1, why not the Buffs? We're going to find out for real what a project.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
If I was a current player in Boulder playing for the Colorado Buffaloes, my boots for my job, if I was a starter, because given what you said, Matt, about the portal and what Deion's going to come in and do, if you don't fit his mold, you're not going to play there. I would be going, man, I hope this guy likes me, because I think there's a well north, again, of 50% of that roster that was on the field this year that will not be touching the field come next season.
We regret to inform you.
Monday,
say it again, Matt.
Monday, the world changes. It literally changes on Monday when the portal opens. So
real quick,